up, guys? You haven't seen a BioHazard build in a long time, so BioHazard build time. Lots of cool stuff going on with this one. Tried to make it extra fancy. So this was a silver dial that I backside lumed in orange. So orange throughout, then I myself pipped it, which usually the wife does that for me. So we've got a nice silver brushed BioHazard dial with an orange lumed background. Brushed case, I did a white cerakoted shark tooth bezel with an orange anodized aluminum minute insert. A little BioHazard engraved crown. Solid milled caseback done that same way. You can see that it got a little hot, so it warmed it up a little bit. I actually did sand on it, but that was kind of down in there really deep, so I was like, well, that kind of gives it kind of a cool look. Silver Ranger style handset. And then as you notice, this is on a white Italian leather with orange painted edges, orange stitching, and a removable bun strap. So you'd have to take off your buckle here, which is just a spring bar. So actually, no, it's not. It's a screw. It's like, wait a second, where's the spring? There's no spring bar. Screw and crown. This has a brushed preview buckle on it. But so here's how the watch would look, you know, somewhat without that on there. But I thought the bund really kind of tied it in there. But you do not see very many of my white leathers. These are so hard to get. They take months to get. When I finally got these in, I didn't do any watches with them for a long time just because I didn't know when I'm going to get more. And finally some more came in. Literally took like pushing a year. So once I had more come into me, then I kind of let them go because this is something that I kind of keep for myself. I've got two different ones. I have two different builds that have bun strap similar to this in white leather, one with blue stitch, one with orange stitch on my hind D builds that I kept for myself. So I don't need to make myself more with these, but I didn't want to put something out and then have somebody go, oh, I really want that strap on there, and go, oh, I only have one more, yeah, I can do it, and then have another person request it, you know. So wanted to make sure I had more of them. It's tough leather to get in, but it is very pliable and very soft. And if you followed me for a long time and you've seen some of my, actually, are they handy? If you give me a sec, I'm not sure which one of these it's in. Isn't this one? It isn't. I thought I would have it right here handy, and I don't. It's probably in the bedroom, which all my watches should be in the watch room. I do have watches in the bedroom. But if you followed me for a long time and you've ever seen any of the Marvel or the Spider-Man straps that I've done, those were also on white leather, and then they were the images were screen printed into the leather. So if you would probably go into one of the folders on the page, on the collection page, and you go through and you'd find like straps or bun strap referencing, you would see them in there. But that is that white leather. It takes forever to get, but it is super soft, super pliable. It is probably my favorite leather that I have. And I wanted to tie that in somewhere, so that's where I did the bezel. And then I did the hands to kind of go with it. Now the orange doesn't quite, it's not an anodized, there's no way you're going to get that, but it ties in nicely. Bezels on there decently tight, but you can turn it left, you can turn it right. This is a tension ring bezel that I put on extra tight. Automatic mechanical, you can't see the rotor, but there's a rotor inside there, a little signed rotor with the stainless steel movement holder. It's inside. But automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it, put it in a watch winder. But if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads, and with these bunds, this is super soft, I just kind of hold it down. Otherwise it's kind of right here in your way, so just push down just slightly. It stays out of your way. Back it off the crown until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point you can wind it, and a wind is a turn that way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, you'll keep time throughout the day. And if you do it for something closer to 20 seconds, you're going to max out your 31-hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. When you're happy with your winding, you'll pull it to the one and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressure on the movement. Okay, Google, what time is it? It's 2:45 p.m. When you're good, push it over, get it out of that time setting, and screw it down. That is the build. So let's show off some lume on the build. Now it's daytime right now, so you won't really see it, but you can move down here where it's a little bit darker. So I did the back in orange. I did the pips in a green over orange. That kind of gives it a kind of a cool look because you can kind of see some of the orange coming through. And those hands, they kind of look like they're blue lumed, but I think it's just because it's against that orange background because they are green. So I'm not sure why it's showing up through like that. It just might just be how the background's playing with it. Because every set of hands I've got from this company's got green lume in it. But it does look like it's blue lume. Blue lume's pretty cool. But so there's how that looks. As with every boat, you're going to get matching beads, and the wife did some of these lume beads in here for me to go with it. So you've got your orange, you got your kind of like marbleized orange, silver, and then we've got these lume beads in the mix. And what's cool is just different parts of the bead have more lume to them. So as you spin them, they've got different surfaces in them. So if you ever see a surface where you're like, oh, it's not very loomy, I'll just spin it a little bit because the lume particles are inside. So for reference on that, so as you can see, that one didn't get very much action how I had it turned. So some matching beads to go with it with some lume in them. I wish I would have had an orange bio box, but we don't do orange as a color very often, so I just grabbed black. Black was more appropriate than brown and was more appropriate than yellow. Yellow kind of was, it's like a canary, it's like a yellow that doesn't go. So I was like, you know what, just solid dark. That's cool. This will come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts, so everything here in the center, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. Some leather conditioner to keep this strap perfectly soft that you'll probably never ever need it. If you would, you'd apply it on the front and the back, let it soak in, remove any excess, let it sit. It will bring this back to life. Chances are, if you feel that way, it would just be the back side that you need to do it to. Probably not the front, you know, where it's against your skin. And then lastly, some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like poly watch. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. But if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your included. I'd probably throw in a white one of the new white ones. Buff it out using your included microfiber. Now you will make this brown, so it might just be better to give you a brown one. But buff it out, haze it, remove any excess. A little bit will go a long way. So if the scratch is up and down, go left and right, fill in the scratch, haze it, buff it out. If you don't get it, wait a little bit, let that solidify, and build that back up, especially if you've gouged it deeply. That's the build. If it's going to you, you've got something kick-ass. I don't get to do these dials very often. I don't get to use my white Italian leather very often. So this is extra expensive, especially with the bund. These take forever to get. My guy's in Romania. He's not part of the Schengen Convention, so whenever I order from him, we have to pay a courier service to get it out of the country, to get it into a country that can ship to our country. So I have to pay a courier service, and then I've got to pay somebody. I basically have to pay to get him the leather over there, pay to get it couriered out and shipped to me. So it takes forever to get them. So that's the build. If it's going to you, like I said, you're getting something really awesome. If you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want me to build you something custom, I'm looking at my stuff and not even thinking. Appreciate your support a ton, guys. If you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thank you, guys.